Welcome to Theme Time Television, the audience participation program where you can send in your creative works based on the different themes of our program. Send in your pictures, your paintings, your poems, your songs, based on the different themes. This week's theme, Crossing the Red Sea. It's actually part 4 of the Passover special because it's connected to what we read about on Passover. So, crossing the Red Sea. Let me just give you a little synopsis of the story. Imagine this: your people have been slaves for 400 years, 220 years of hard labor. All of a sudden, this guy comes on the scene, Moshe, and 1/5 of the people get out of Egypt. 1/5 of the people say, "I'm going with this crazy guy into the desert." Most of them didn't make it out. 1/5 went out with this guy after 400 years, free at last, and walking. They're walking in the hands held high, singing songs past the outskirts of Egypt. They keep walking for a couple of days, 3-4 days, and all of a sudden, like they're just on the outskirts of Egypt, and they get to this sea. They look back, and the Egyptian army is chasing them. They look to the left, there's wild animals, and where are they going to go? So some people start praying. So we have to pray to God, pray to God, pray to God. And other people say, "What are you, what are you idiots? You're going to sit here and pray? There's an army coming. We have to fight them. Let's fight." And there's, "Are you nuts? What do you mean fight? We'll be schmeiced. Forget about it." And other ones say, "Both of you guys are wrong. We have to give up. We have to, put the white flag and say, we were just kidding when we think we're really going to leave. No, we just went, for, of course we're coming back. We're going to be slaves. We've got to, go back, surrender. Come on." And then there's one guy knocks and says, "All you guys are a bunch of schmoes. If God took us out of Egypt, He's not going to take us out just to kill us here. Just keep going." I said, "Where? Where?" And he just starts walking into the ocean. He walks into the ocean up to his nose, and all of a sudden, poof, it starts to open, and everyone says, "Let's go." And they went through the sea. Which is an example that, people think that Israel is a democracy. It tries to be, but it's, most of our history happens that way. Somebody pushes and things open. The Hanukkah story was the same thing. It was a band of, rebels that basically had enough, and they started this revolution, and then other people joined in, like one candle lit the other candle. That's why we go, we light it one after the other. Anyway, so you may think Israel is a democracy, but a lot of the things that have happened in our history haven't happened necessarily in that way. In fact, our democracy this year, some people say that that's part of the reason for the corona, that for a year we've been trying to make a government, we can't make a government because we have a virus here that's, part of the people want a Jewish country, and another part want to have a regular country like everybody else, and just forget about our history. And some say that the clincher was that just before, Yakutiel said this, just before the coronavirus happened, what happened just before was the big Trump deal of the century, where he benevolently gave us 30% of what belongs to us and gave away 70%, including the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount, that's like God's palace. And, that's, it's like, imagine Hashem upstairs going, I brought you out, I brought you back to Israel, and everybody was celebrating, and now you're celebrating that you've just sold my palace. You're celebrating that you sold my palace. You know what? I don't want your prayers. Get out of the synagogues. I don't even want a minion. Don't talk to me. He's, they said my friend Reuben, I lost touch with him, I miss him dearly. He used to say, "You know what? God is really pissed right now. But don't worry, He'll get over it." So, yes, it takes him a lot to get angry, but on the other hand, easy to appease. So, participate in the program. Let's try and put the order back. He'll look down, I'm sure, and say, "They're doing a good thing." Couldn't hurt. Anyway, back to Nakshan. So there's an interesting story in the Midrash or mysticism or Kabbalah or whatever, that when God made the world, he made everything, the trees and the water and everything. And when he made the Red Sea, he programmed it that when the Israelites were to come there, it's automatically supposed to open. So why didn't it? How come Nachshon had to go all the way up, till it was up to his nose? Because they said the ocean didn't recognize it. Because they looked just like everybody. They didn't look like the Israelites said he didn't recognize. Which reminds me of a joke, an old joke. There was a guy from Bnei Brak, religious guy. And, he prayed every morning, afternoon, evening, kept 100% kosher, glatt kosher, wore a shtreimel, a furry hat. It was like very religious, Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox, frum yid. And all his life, then one day he just got into me and said, you know what, this is a lie. It's not me. I don't want to, I want to leave it all. I want to go have some fun. Took off the shtreimel, shaved off the beard, got himself a little zoot suit, bought himself a sports car, goes down to the, some dance club or strip or I don't know, whatever, pulls up his sports cars, crossing the street to go to this club, sprays a little cologne on, and he's walking across the street. A truck comes around the corner. These guys are talking. They didn't see him. They slam on the brakes. Poof, they hit him. He dies. Goes to heaven. Standing in front of the court, there's, the tribunal. And he's pissed. He said, what did you do? All my life, I was keeping Shabbat. I was keeping kosher. I was keeping everything. Why would you kill me just like that? Don't you know who I am? Like Moshe Weinstein, I was... They said, wait a second, what did you say? I was keeping religion and everything, Moshe Weinstein. I've been... He said, wait a second. Do we have Moshe Weinstein? No, you're not supposed to be here. What do you mean I'm not supposed to be here? Sorry, we made a mistake. We didn't recognize you. Anyway, it's an old joke. So that leads to the song that I wrote called, here's a little verse, whatever life has in store, whatever it may be, there's only one place for me, and that's the middle of the raging sea. Enjoy.
Whatever life has in store, whatever it will be, the only comfort I find is in the middle of the raging sea. Whichever way the winds will blow, through the pages of history, only place for me is in the middle of the raging sea. There's no other place for me, no place I'd rather be than the middle of the raging sea. There's no other place for me, no other place where I feel free but the middle of the raging sea. And if I'm before my time, or if I'm already late, I don't really mind, no, I don't hesitate. And if the winds will blow, and if the waters rise, I just built my house right here between the tides. There's no other place for me, no place I'd rather be than the middle of the raging sea. There's no other place for me, no other place that I feel free but in the middle of the raging sea. Whatever way the tables turn, whatever lessons I need to learn, I pray that I'll always be in the middle of the raging sea. Whichever way the winds will blow through the pages of history, there's only one place for me in the middle of the raging sea. You can go against the tide, or you can run but you can't hide. You can escape place I wanna be, just sitting under my lemon tree, in the middle of the raging sea. There's no other place for me, no place I would rather be, but the middle of the raging sea.
Okay, we're back. And now here's another song, also about the sea. This was written, this is a love song. So this song, it was a breakup song. And I was, you know, I had this heavy weight on me for a long time. And it was weeks or months, I don't remember, but I felt like this heavy weight, I could hardly move. And I wrote this song one day, and when I finished the last word, the weight lifted. It was gone. And interesting, about a year later, a friend of mine, Amy Lilker, she said to me that she had that song, and I gave it to her. She was going through a breakup, and she said that song helped her. You know, sometimes depressing songs can help you because only a depressing song can enter the place that you're feeling and then uplift you from there. Like Leonard Cohen does that a lot. Anyway, this is called Into the Storm. Can't feel you anymore as I go sailing into the storm. And it was never really recorded properly. I wish we could record it better one day, but Kevin Bell, my brother Kevin, great guitar player. He did such a beautiful guitar solo on it. Anyway, it's called Into the Storm. Hope you like it.
I said no, I cannot stay. Then like the sirens of Titan, you threw me under your spell. Like a lion in a cage, you held me against my will. Though your emptiness was more than I could ever feel. One day I woke up in your heaven. your father before you. This is the place where you belong. And I can't feel you anymore as I go sailing into the storm. Out of emptiness and fear, you were born. But I see the way now so clear. I can see the light beyond the storm, and I can't feel you anymore as I go sailing into the storm,
Okay, we're back. And the theme this week, Crossing the Red Sea. Send in your materials if you've got materials to send in, or just enjoy the show. Next week it's going to be Strange Fire. So if you got something, painting, a poem, song, send it in. Strange Fire is a good topic. But we're on Crossing the Red Sea right now. My friend Ray sent me recently, he said, he sent me a line from Winston Churchill. If you're going through hell, keep on going. I say if you're crossing the Red Sea, plant a lemon tree. Peter Tosh says, don't look back.
If it's love that you're running from, there is no hiding place. Just your problems and no one else's problems you will have to face. If you just put your hands in mine, we're gonna leave all troubles behind. Walk and don't look back. Walk and don't look back. Now if your first lover lets you down, something can be done. Don't you wheel your face down and down, remembering what's wrong. If you just put your hands in mine, we're gonna leave all them troubles behind. Walk, walk, walk and don't look back. If you just put your hands in mine, we're gonna leave them troubles behind. We're gonna walk and don't look back. back. 'Cause there to remind you when your lover lets you down, something can be done. Don't keep your faith down in love, remembering what was wrong. If you just put your hands down, we're gonna leave them troubles behind. Walk, walk, yeah. We gonna walk and don't look back. We ain't got no time to waste. Keep on walking, don't look back. I said to keep on walking, don't look back. Just keep on going straight ahead. Don't look back. Keep on walking, don't look back. I said to keep on walking.
We're back, and this is Theme Time Television. This week's theme, Crossing the Red Sea. Now, there's two sides to this equation. There's those who are escaping, crossing the sea, and there are those who are pursuing. This next song was a musical attempt. It's kind of a sketch. It's never been done recorded properly, but it's a sketch of an article that was very famous. It was published by 20 different newspapers called Dear World by Americana. It was put under a different name because if it was under his name, they wouldn't have published it. You know, Moses also in Egypt tried to publish articles in the biblical times in the Egyptian Chronicle, but he was public enemy number one. They wouldn't publish it. Anyway, it's like 10 paragraphs long, but it's an article that's a letter to the world, and basically he talks about Jewish history all in a short essay describing how we're kicked around from here to here to here, and it seemed everywhere we went we bothered people, and they had pogroms and inquisitions and everything. So we thought, well, what better idea than to leave this world that seems to be bothered by us and come back home? And it seems even when we're at home, they still are bothered by us. And then he ends with the last line is, if you're bothered, not much I could do about it, but here's one Jew in Israel couldn't care less. Anyway, so I put it in a musical form. It's called Dear World, and it's a bit of a heavy song, but it's a heavy time, so enjoy.
Dear world, ever since we knew you, you placed on us such harsh decrees. Seems we bothered all your fathers before you, so we said let's leave. We built a new home and it grow, and now you tell us to freeze. Tell me why you so hard to please. Dear world, oh, I thank you for your inquisitions and the gates you locked when we did flee. I know it bothers you that we've been blessed, and even more now that we're free. But before you count us for the slaughter, I see the writing up above. We're not sheep anymore, we're shepherds, and it's you are being judged. Well, you can chase us just like Pharaoh, but if you were wise, then you would see that time isn't ticking for me, but for you. Dear world, expressions of your love. How you've inspired us to build God's kingdom with our blood. And now that we've reached the final stage, you're so bothered that you're flying into a rage. Every tiny little house we build is on your front page. And just like the past, it starts with lies. Then our existence you delegitimize. Then who would resist the solution that you finalize? Well, we're not the same people that you once knew. We know your plan, in fact we're waiting for you. We split the ocean again and you can chase us partway through. Hey, we'll all be drowned and you'll claim victory. But if you were wise, then you would see that the time isn't ticking for me, but for you. Dear world, you stood by in silence as we were slaughtered in your lands. And you'd stand by again today and even lend a helping hand. I know it bothers you when we hit back, when we succeed despite each attack. Well, maybe you bothered us too. Did you ever think of that? I, for one, I couldn't care less if you choose to be cursed or to be blessed. Well, you can sail on the ship or you can go down in your protest. Oh, for the final flood already began to give a last chance to those who take a stand, and to save only those who ever lent a hand. For the kingdom will surely be built, and the devil will get his due. And all the angry, bothered people, let them come on through. We'll find a doom, and all the fools agree. But if you were wise, then you would see that the time isn't ticking for me, but for you. Dear world, yeah, if you were wise, then you would see the time isn't ticking for me, but for you. Dear world, oh, the ship is sailing now. Come on, get on board. Oh yeah, come on now. Oh yeah, now. Oh, come on, get on board. Dear world, come on now. The ship is sailing. Hey, yeah. Come on now.
Now, this next song is one of my few songs that I did in Hebrew, because when the Israelites are going into the ocean, it says, "Az Yashir Moshe." Then Moshe sang. God, and they were singing, playing tambourines as they went into the sea. And they say that "Az Yashir Moshe" means there will be another song in the future, a future song, when there be a future situation similar to the crossing of the sea, that will be dancing through the ocean again, and it'll be even a better time. So it says, it's called "Az Yashir Moshe," and it's done in Hebrew with my friend Neil Gertler on toy drums that she found on the street, which he made them sound great. So this is called "Az Yashir Moshe."
Az Yashir Moshe, Az Yashir Moshe, Az Yashir Moshe, Az Yashir
That was Uz Yashir Moshe. Now, there was two songs that we read about on this Passover, on the last day. We read the Song of the Sea, where the Egyptians were chasing the Israelites. And then there's another song that King David wrote when he was saved, not from the Egyptians, but from his own people. So it seems to be that there's a connection between the outside world in Israel and the inside world of Israel within our own people. It's like those Russian dolls. What happens with the one in the small one affects the big one. And King David was a handful of people, like Robin Hood and his merry men, and they were being chased by King Saul, who wanted to do him in. But in the end, everything worked out. And you might ask, who's King David's men today? I think they are those hilltop youth, those wild guys that live up in the hills. They're shepherds, and they build their homes, and the army comes and tears it down. They build them up again. And I went out there and I met a few of them. They all look like kings and queens. I wrote the song. It's called "The Kings and Queens of Zion," and I think one day they may be. Enjoy.
I hear you talking to the president's men, and former enemies are studying their friends. Everybody got the same thing on their mind. Oh yeah. They gotta stop this settlement town and the heaven from coming down. But the sun keeps shining on them and you wonder why. These are the kings and the queens, sheltered under his wings, sleeping by the fire under the moon of what I am. These are the kings and the queens. Today you call them extreme, but these are the kings and the queens of Zion. These are the kings and the queens of Zion. They try to buy them and they can't be sold. You break down the buildings and they build them up back again. Oh yeah. And you wonder who's really in charge. You sent your army and your tanks and guards, just a handful of hippies with the holy books in their hands. Oh yeah. But these are the kings and the queens, sheltered under his wings, sleeping by the fire under the moon of what I am. Yeah, these are the kings and the queens. Today you call them extreme, but these are the kings and the queens of Zion. You, but no matter how you twist or chew, ain't nothing you can do gonna bend this blade of grass. Oh no. And you think that you're mighty and strong, but maybe you could be wrong. Maybe you would, but maybe your time has passed. Oh yeah. 'Cause these are the kings and the queens, sheltered under his wings, sleeping by the fire under the moon of what I am. These are the kings and the queens. Today I call them extreme, but these are the kings and the queens of Zion. Whoa!
Okay, we're back, and the theme for this week, Crossing the Red Sea. And, if you are one of the children of Israel and you're far away from Israel and you're thinking of coming back to Israel, jump in the sea, it'll open, and try and make it back here. You don't have to change your lifestyle. You don't have to be singing Hava Nagila every day. Bring your Bo Diddley records, bring your Bob Dylan records, bring your dance records, bring whatever you are, your own lifestyle. You can do the same thing here, and you can live from your computer, and soon things are going to get better. But my blessings to everybody, my love to everybody. Stay healthy. If you want a blessing from Israel, ain't no rabbi, but I live in Israel, and send your information, and I will send out the blessings and vibes from this holy place to you. Couldn't hurt. So if you have any requests, send them in. Beef some bouquets downstairs. If you have a beef, you have a bouquet. That was an old radio show from Winnipeg, where I came from. That's about it. So this is dedicated to Neil. We used to play this together. Lord, I got to keep on moving. If you're going through the Red Sea, keep on moving. See you next week. The program is going to be Strange Fire. Okay, bye for now.
Lord, I gotta keep on moving. Lord, I gotta get on down. Lord, I gotta keep on moving where I can be found. Lord, they're coming after me. I've been accused for the killing. Lord knows I didn't do. For hanging me, they are willing, yeah, yeah. And that's why I gotta get on through. Lord, they're coming after me. One more time. Lord, I gotta keep on moving. Lord, I gotta get on down. Lord, I gotta keep on moving where I can be found. Lord, they're coming after me. Now listen.
I've got 2 boys and a woman.
Doop, doop, doop.
They're just gonna suffer now.
Doop, doop, doop.
Lord, forgive me for not going back. But
I'll be there anyhow. I'll be there anyhow. One more time, say, Lord, I gotta keep on moving. Lord, I gotta get on down. Lord, I gotta keep on moving where I can be found. Lord, they're coming after me. Now maybe someday